Hey everyone, how you doing? As promised this morning in our daily financial news, I had some guests coming on in the afternoon. We have Nathan and Joanna. Joanna, how are you two doing?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for doing it. It's very sweet of you to give me some of your Friday afternoon. We're going to talk about those 10 questions I put up in the Facebook group. You ready?
Ready
Ready.
to go.
Awesome. So number one is tell the audience about your experience in real estate before signing up and taking the course or the class.
Well, I'll start. We got into real estate almost on accident, if you would. I lived at home through college, paid myself rent every month, saved down payment. Instead of moving out and renting, I thought that was a waste of money. I decided to buy a house and rented it out to three of my friends. I paid $200 a month and did
Wow.
that for years. Did it in 2009, so it was ended up being a really, really great purchase.
Yeah.
We lived in it when we got married and then upgraded and kept that house a couple of years later, and then lived in that house for a couple of years and did it again.
Wow.
And so we have two rentals in San Diego, and one of them has a granny flat, so technically three. And we almost didn't even know what we were doing when we did it. It was like all of a sudden we've got a couple houses that have appreciated, and we kind of woke up one day and went, "Whoa,
Yeah. How'd that
uh,
happen?
yeah." And then we recently had our third baby, and I was looking for ways to get some income that I decided I didn't want to go back to work.
Mhm.
And somebody recommended your book to me,
Oh,
my brother-in-law, and I read this book, and it was like, this is it. And I was familiar with it because we had rentals.
sure.
Uh, so then we really started doing more research, and I listened to the YouTube every day,
Wow.
and we've now bought three rentals in St. Louis. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
it's our
Okay.
journey.
I wasn't that quick. She was all about it. Our brother-in-law Brian suggested the book, and she read it. She said, "You got to read this," and I was like, "I don't have time."
No.
And aren't we already doing it? Right. That was kind of my attitude, and so that was our experience before the course.
Okay. And Joanna, I wanted to make sure I understood the story. You were house hacking right out the gate.
Yeah,
Look at you. Before
I
it was a
shared a
thing.
room because I could save money. $200 a month. I lived. It
Dang.
was
In
great.
San Diego.
Uh huh. Yep.
All right. Well, some of us are quicker than others, and you clearly are quicker than I am. So congratulations. That's, oh my goodness. So I think you answered this already, but I'll ask it anyway. How'd you first hear about one rental at a time, either the book or the channel? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, my brother-in-law recommended it. He's starting to get into real estate investing and said, "Read this book." He sent me the link of the YouTube link, and that's really where our journey began. I audibled the book, listened to it in 2 hours, really quickly. Loved it. It was so relatable. I
Yeah.
felt like I resonated with it. I don't want to work like I'm working. I was leading a landscape company and working really hard, and I have three young kids, and I need to find other ways to do it and easier ways. And I mean, it's easier. It's still work. We work. It's
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's work, but it's different kind of work.
Different kind.
Um, so yeah, I loved it. I recommend it to everybody I know. Everybody who
Oh,
talks to me about real estate, I'm like, you need to read this book first, and then come back and talk to me.
yeah. Here's the price of admission. Read this first.
Uh-huh. Yep.
There you go. And Nathan, did you ever break down and read or listen to it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely did.
Yeah, of course.
So I did I listen to it? Yeah, I
You
listened
need to
to it. I
listen. Yeah.
listened to it on Audible, and then Brian, our brother-in-law, said, "You got to take the course, do the course. That will help unlock everything for you." And so we
We
jumped
did
in
it.
on that. Yeah, and it was that in combination with reading Rich Dad Poor Dad
Mm-hmm.
that my paradigm shift. I didn't even realize that I had a different paradigm, honestly. I mean, I thought I married her, I'm doing okay, kind of a
Yeah.
thing. And I'm a much more laissez-faire, go with the flow. Anyways, when I read those two books together,
Right.
I realized, oh man, I'm missing out on a big part of life here, and there's a real opportunity that she saw months and months, well, years really before me. But anyway, so yes, I did read the book and absolutely loved it. Recommend
Yeah.
it to everyone.
That's very nice. And I think that is a powerful combination. Again, I wrote the book, as I'm sure both of you've heard, because I felt like there needed to be a sequel to Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? So
Mhm.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, like you, changed my mind, Nathan. It's like, wake up, you fool. And then I'm like, well, okay, what happens after that? Because there's no book that talks about, okay, you're a full-time employee, you're crazy busy. What the hell happens next?
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, why don't you just pick the 15-year period with this huge housing bubble and let's see what happens. So, I'm glad the book's
I,
out
I
there.
wish I would have read it, 5 years ago when I was working full time and making a great income. I feel like we could have done a lot more. I mean, I'm happy that we've got a couple houses in San Diego, so we didn't do horrible, but
Yeah.
it was definitely a mindset shift for us.
Yeah. 3 houses in San Diego is not bad. Started your journey in St. Louis with 3 more. You guys are you're doing more than most. If that's not obvious to you, let me tell you, as somebody who talks to people every day, you're doing more than most. So congratulations.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Thank you, because I'm like, let's do another one.
I like that. I like that. So again, a little bit of this, but let's go deeper. What did you really take away from the book, right? And the messages that I spout repeatedly around one rental at a time?
Well, there's a couple things for me. I think I had really felt like I don't have time for this. Felt pretty overwhelming the way she was talking about, and my brother-in-law Brian is talking about it. I mean, he's just going gung-ho, and I'm thinking, I don't have the energy or the space for this. So one of the biggest takeaways for me was really showing how somebody who's working full-time can do this, and this is how you do it. You don't have to spend 6 hours a day. You spend 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And that was something that was really, really, really relatable to me because, and there's a lot more that popped out. But in terms of me jumping in, it was, I'm not asking for a lot of time. I'm asking for a little bit of time every day. And that's something that I could really do. And we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the other thing is the alligator principle was really, it really made us realize we had an alligator. We didn't realize it. The second house we bought, we had a renter in it. Our mortgage was covered barely. Right. And we thought, oh, it's covered. This is cool. And we just had never realized, oh, actually, when we saved CapEx and vacancy and all these things, we're in an alligator. So it really made us, we solved it. We got in, we raised the rent. We've actually now changed the renter, raised the rent again. We're refinancing. So we are now turning this into a great deal, which I think we could have gone a lot longer not realizing what we were doing. So that was
so awesome. I like this. This is fun. You have no idea how fun this is for me, seeing the things that I'm hoping people are picking up. You're picking up. It's
absolutely.
It helped us so much.
Well, we almost sold that house. It was really, we almost did, not because it was like so much of a burden or whatever, but then we realized, all we got to do is make a few minor tweaks here and we can actually make this money for us. And now it is.
Now it cash flows well.
We're keeping it. We're happy with that, and we're going to keep making money. So it's good.
Net cash flow $300.
Yeah,
in San Diego. Not many people can say that. Yeah. In San Diego. That's awesome. So do you follow me on YouTube? One rental at a time.
We both do.
Every day.
Every day. You like the daily
I
financial
curl my
news?
hair. I curl my hair and I listen to the news every single morning.
That's awesome. So again, the daily financial news is something you tune in for.
I love it.
Okay.
It's like it's my news every day. So thank you for your hard work.
Oh, you got it. I'm glad somebody watches. So you hear me, you see or listen to the book. What makes you sign up? What makes you spend $200? Right? That's how much the course costs. Why'd you finally say yes?
Yeah, I think for us it was twofold. It was the encouragement of our brother-in-law who said you should really do this. But you know what? I listened to a lot of so my introduction to this real estate world was you. Mm-hmm. My brother-in-law said, you got to listen to this guy. And from there, I started to explore bigger pockets. Mm-hmm. And there's others. There's all kinds of gurus out there. And a lot of them are really good. I have a lot of really helpful information. But I felt sold on every single one of them. I felt like everybody was like, hey, here's a little bit of information, but buy this. Mm-hmm. Every single time I listened. And I don't like that feeling. I didn't like that feeling. And so it was really hard for me to get into it. So listening to you on YouTube and listening to your book, and I didn't feel sold. I felt like, man, this is a guy that I feel like wants to invest in us. And so it was a lot easier for me to easily spend the $200, because I didn't feel like I'm getting ripped off here. I felt like I've got a real value here that is worth the money.
And $200 was attainable.
Yeah,
it wasn't thousands of dollars. We actually took a weekend away. We got a babysitter. We went and stayed in a hotel, and we listened to the whole thing the whole weekend.
Wow.
And that talked out. We were analyzing deals, and it was a great weekend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you got a memory out of it too. Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're doing it. We're going to do it every year now.
Yeah.
Relook at everything.
That is awesome. Oh, that is so cool. I might steal that. That's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So what does focus and daily execution mean to the two of you?
You want to start with that one?
Yeah, I think this one was probably the hardest part for us to get our head around, is to exactly what to do every day. And I had a brand new baby, so I would be feeding the baby and I would just browse Zillow.
Yeah.
I looked every day, and so we got a little bit better at actually getting on and doing the spreadsheet. We actually got an virtual assistant to help us do it.
Okay.
Trick.
Yeah.
It was great because once we learned how to did it for a little bit, we got a virtual assistant to help us do it, so that then we could just look at it and not have to plug them all in.
Yep.
So that helped us time wise, especially with him and how hard he's working, and me with 3 kids. So. But I still look at Zillow every single day. I feel like I can look and glance and know exactly what I'm looking at. I know exactly. I scroll down, know exactly what I want to see.
Yep.
It's really been great.
Yeah, and I think plugging numbers into that spreadsheet a little bit every day was really helpful.
Okay.
Being able to go back and look at how the market changes is really important. So if I found something that was interesting that I don't want to make a move on, or I can't make a move on, it's still very interesting to go back and look at it a week later and see if it's still there.
Yeah.
See if the price has changed. See if there's been any offers. Those kinds of things have been fun for me. And really I only do a little bit, but it compounds, right? Our spreadsheet started with this bare empty thing that I didn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
And now I've got 16 tabs, and I've got a teams tab, and I've got every property on there, and there's 164 properties. The red ones have sold or they're not there anymore, and it's like we've got this whole system worked out, and we use it whenever we're going to consider anything.
And I think it's been really neat dynamic to have both of us, because he's in front of a computer a lot more than I am, working. And I'm with the kids, so I can watch the YouTube videos while I do the dishes, and I can scroll Zillow and shoot him over things to, hey, put this in the spreadsheet, check out these ones. So I think the dynamics of us, I think I'm doing a lot of the strategic, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Hey, listen to this video, check out what he said. And then he's doing a lot of maybe the daily grind, if you would.
Yeah.
But I think the dynamic of us partnering together like that has been great. By the way, I've always wanted to ask you to have your wife come on.
Yeah. Olivia, yeah.
Olivia, and share her experience.
I ask her almost every week. I try to bribe her every week, and she's like, "That's your thing, honey. I'm not getting on camera. Are you kidding?"
Oh no, come on! I want to hear from her.
All right, I'm going to poke her again with this. They're asking for you, honey.
You tell her, Olivia, we want to see you.
That's right. Come on, help me out. That's funny. Yeah, it really is. It's all about focus and daily execution because of everything you said, right? Focus, as Nathan said earlier, really, actually, for most people, does save time, right? It kind of declutters everything. And then the daily execution is all about that compounding, right? Manually creating your spreadsheet, whatever that becomes, just being a little bit better every day. It's awesome to see. So again, the next question is, did you build your spreadsheet and now are you comfortable with yield? So it sounds like you built quite the whopper.
Yeah, and our brother-in-law helped with that because when we first started, it was hard, and then taking the course really clarified because he sent it to us before we took the course, and so I was looking at it going, man,
I don't know, what is he talking about? Yeah,
this is crazy. How did you get these numbers, and where does this come from, and how do you figure this stuff out? The course helped a lot because we were able to go systematically, step by step.
Yeah.
And so, we use that spreadsheet every single day. Now I actually don't have to. If I'm going to make an offer on a house, I will absolutely put it in there because for a couple of reasons. I want to track it, but it's a little more precise. But now I just run the numbers in my head pretty quick. I can tell if something's worthy of even having a conversation about it off the top of my head, almost using my calculator on my phone.
Oh, for sure. That's where you get to. That's the power of compounding right there. You almost know intuitively if it qualifies as a good or great deal because you've looked at hundreds and it's such a small percentage. They kind of start to stand out. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very cool. All right. Any other key lessons from the course that you take away and still hold on to?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The alligator one was one of the biggest because I didn't realize what that meant. Didn't realize we had one. And that was a big eye-opener. I think the simplicity of daily focus and the spreadsheet was very, very helpful. That I will never forget that. I think the systems that are set up are really simple and easy. And they're easy to follow. So establishing systems in whatever we're doing, we're talking about a new market right now, and we're just starting the process over again.
Exactly.
Which is a little overwhelming for me, but the system makes it simple. I just know what to do. So,
And it's way easier this time than the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, I know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting, even listening to podcasts and things. It's like, I was just telling him today, I can like hang with what they're saying. Like, we've learned a lot.
Mhm.
Like 6 months ago, I didn't know what an ARV was and
Right.
these terms
Yield.
that yield. What
Cap
do you,
rate.
yeah. Now I'm like, oh yeah, we know what we're doing. I mean, we're not experts, but we've learned a little bit.
Well, you're
Yeah.
putting in the work, and you are, yeah. I mean, expert's a title that, yeah, you're much better than when you started. You're getting better every day. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
We've progressed.
yeah, and what I think was really powerful that I want people to hear is once you've learned the skill of learning your market, that's a skill that you can take anywhere you want, right? If you decide that St. Louis is not the spot, you want to try somewhere else because, honey, I want a vacation there from now on. Well, guess what? Go spend the time and do it again.
That's exactly what I want to do. We want to go to Florida. Because I'm like, I want to go somewhere that I'll get on a plane and go. I'm not going to go to St. Louis. I'm not that excited about it.
Yeah, no, that's
But the
exactly
numbers make
right.
sense. So anyway.
I think another thing that was a big takeaway for me, especially in the last month and a half, is the why.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? What is our reason? It's got to be more than just we want money, and financial freedom, even in and of itself, is great, but it's not super good for the right now when you're going through the struggles, because we're not there yet, right? We're still striving for that.
Mhm.
So I think the why is really important. We're actually going through a book called Vivid Vision right now, and we're going to start putting together like a vivid vision of what we're doing and why. And so the why has been really important for us, especially we've had some struggles in this last our alligator house, and figuring out those problems. The why has really carried us through, which is good.
And it's a joint why. You guys are on the same page, it seems like.
Yep.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So would you recommend the course to others?
Emphatically, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We highly encourage. In fact, we've had many of our friends, young and old, who've said, we want to do real estate. And I say, here's a link. Take this course.
Yeah, do this. And it's a price of admission. It really is for me. That's why the course, because it's kind of how I would do it, right? If I'm going to do the work, I want to start, slap me in the face. Let's do work, right? That's why is kind of step 4, step 5 in the course. It's like, no, I'm going to find out right now if you're going to do the work. That's the whole goal.
I always tell people it's not flashy. It's not fancy by any means. You know, you're standing with a white piece of paper in your room, you know, and I think I really appreciate that. It's just not showy. It's just really plain and simple. Here's how I did it. Here's how you can do it. I like that.
Awesome. I like that. And then how about the private Facebook group?
Oh yeah. This has been helpful. We actually, again, that alligator property, we had to do our first cash for keys, and we were really able to get some help from that group by, you know, posting the problem and getting people's feedback and connections with attorneys and advice on what to do. And it was really helpful. And then also just helpful to like, oh, they understand our pain right now.
We're not alone.
It was our first problem really with any rental we've had. You know, they say you all go through them, and we did. We had our experience. Gratefully, we just have our new renters, or we overcame it. We got her out. We're done.
Nice.
But I was really, it was helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like the group. I like the group. Just now it's getting to a size where I can sort of like watch over it and just I smile. I'm like, they're interacting, they're networking, they're helping each other, they're posting wins. I call it the happiest place on the internet on purpose because I go there and I smile all the time. So,
well, the first thing we did when we closed the deal was like, let's post it in the group. You know? Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So thank you for doing this. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up this?
Just thank you. Really,
thank you very much.
You've impacted our life. You've really helped us, and we're really grateful.
That's amazing. Wow, you're very, very well. You guys did the work. Again, I can only point at the path, and you'd be surprised at how many people go, that's too hard. So you guys are doing the work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate what you've written down for us. It is really been a guide for us, and we're incredibly thankful. And anybody watching, take the course, read the book. It's worth your time.
Do it.
If you've got any interest in this,
do the daily work.
Yeah, do the work.
Do the work. Yes. Thank you very much, you two. Awesome.